Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's show. We have a very special guest. All my guests are special, and almost every week is guests. But we have Tiana from New York. Me and T met in Utah at Nikon's creator camp, and I fell in love with her. She is so fun, so creative, so unique, and I feel like just carving her own path in this world and industry that I think is really cool. And it's going to be awesome to talk about and hopefully inspiring for all types of photographers listening to this, which I think will also be a good fresh perspective outside of the normal wedding photographer that's on the show. So, T, tell us a little bit about you, what you would say you do. Like when I think of you, I think like creative direction, some of the short films you're doing, just like weird, cool things. You're just a cool New York gal, but I don't know how you would describe yourself, you know?
Yeah, no, I have such a hard time like answering like the what do you do question. Like easy, broad, like straightforward answer is like photographer and director, but I do so many different types of photography and like also different types of direction. So I do editorial photography, I also do wedding photography, I also do like just fun like for like giggles and like whatever photography. And then I also do short films. And I just recently kind of started venturing into the world of like directing and film and
Mm,
TV and all that kind of stuff. And then I also do content creation. And so I kind of have like three overarching jobs, but then like lots of jobs within those jobs. So
mm.
yeah.
That actually is wild and is a lot. Like
Yeah.
to have ventured into all of those, say, niches or areas in the industry and be, like, young and successful, like, how has that evolution gone for you? Like, stepping into new roles and stepping into maybe new things, like, I feel like directing. I'm like I would be like, "Oh my god, who am I? What do I know? I don't know anything." Like, I would be so scared, and I love that you're just, like, going for it.
I definitely, I mean, I was scared, but I like, do things scared. And like, I feel like the type of scared that I was going into like these new directorial roles, like, I was also so excited to just
Mm,
learn and try something new. And I feel like it's like scary when you're in pre-production because there's like all this planning and it's so overwhelming. But then once you get on set, like everything just like you just get into a flow state, at least for me. And so it
mm,
just makes me, it like reminds me, like, oh, yeah, like there's really nothing to be scared of. Like everyone is here to do their job. And like everyone is just like wants to create something good, which is like all I ever want to do in any of my
mm,
jobs. And so yeah, I love that it pushes me, like, stepping into new roles, like, I feel like I get too comfortable doing, like, the things that I'm used to doing creatively, and
mm,
so getting to do things that are a little bit scary just, like, reminds me that I'm pushing myself and I'm growing, so, yeah.
mm. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you kind of started more in weddings or did weddings more professionally first? If I am I wrong? Am I right?
I did weddings more professionally first in relation to, like, going into directing, but I started doing editorial and dance photography before I started doing
Mm,
weddings. So that was my first, like, step into photography, and then I did that, like, kind of I didn't do it full time. I didn't go end up going full time in photography until I started doing weddings, which was almost 3 years ago now.
mm. Awesome. That's so sick. And you recently shot a wedding, which I know you probably prefer some of the or I don't know what you prefer, but I feel like last time I met you, you were like, "I definitely prefer some of the directing, like, way more over doing weddings." So I was like, "You do you, this sounds so fun, I love this for you." But you did shoot a wedding in, like, France or something not that long
Italy.
ago? Italy.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
was so good.
Thank you. Yeah, that was it was like one of my friends' weddings, and like she and I have always just had like a very creative like relationship. Every time like we have an idea, like when I first started doing photography and I first decided I wanted to try doing weddings, like she was one of the first people I asked to like model bridal for me, and so it just like
Mm,
was a very full circle moment for both of us. And it was really fun. I had so much fun doing it. And I I feel like weddings come with their own like fun challenges that I like love taking on, and then directing is they're very different sides of your brain. Like
Mhm.
I feel like I use completely different muscles doing both of them, and there's like a little bit of crossover in like the Venn diagram, but honestly not that much, which I really like. I feel like it like keeps me balanced.
What would you say is the part that does feel like it crosses over? Like, I love I f w one of the things that changed how I approached wedding photography was working with a creative director on, like, a editorial fashion shoot, and I was just like, "I love how clear the vision is, how clear the storyline is, like,
Mhm.
everything was so intentional and, like, thought out, and I was like, "Why can't I be like that as a wedding photographer?" And it actually changed completely, like, everything that I shoot, like, every way that I shot, because I felt
Mhm.
like I was just doing, like, the typical, "Go to Cannon Beach, go to the beach, take some photos of a couple," and I was so bored. I was like, "This is so boring. I hate this. I'm doing the same thing every weekend. It is not fulfilling," and I don't know. I didn't love it, and I it was strange that of all things, a fashion shoot was the thing that, like, changed my whole perspective,
Mhm.
because it wasn't some, like, deeply I mean, the script for the editorial was deep, but it when you see the images, you're not gonna think that this was some, like, deep, life-changing shoot, but the experience of it for me was because it just taught me that, like, if they can do all of this for this, like, publication shoot, like, why can I not go so much deeper with this couple that already has their own story, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. No, totally. I feel like using the, like, crossover that I mean, I feel like you can just find different ways to bring, like, different experiences into whatever job you're in, and I feel like
Mm,
with even in the last year, I feel like since I started doing more directing and kind of venturing into that world, it has changed the way I approach weddings. I feel like I do I am just, like, more intentional with, like, telling the story, and I've always, like, tried to approach weddings that way where I'm like, "I really want to tell, like, this story, and, like, your love has its own story, and I want to be able to, like, just bring that to life on camera." But I'm not even sure if I could pinpoint how, but I feel like it almost just gives me more confidence in knowing
mm,
that I can tell the story, from behind the camera, especially without like intervening too much, and like because I really do
mhm.
I like lean documentary, and I like to kind of just like let things happen but from behind the camera, like there's so many different ways to like capture a moment, and I always am kind of thinking like how would I capture this moment like if I was on set, because when you go on set you like have your shot list, and like you have like everything is listed out,
Yeah,
and you've thought so hard about like what is the best possible angle and like lighting to make sure this message gets across in this scene. And so it's just kind of like trying to do that on the fly and like tweak
yeah.
things as I go from behind the camera, which is like obviously you can't nail it every time, but it's definitely like made me more intentional with doing that.
I've never thought about how, like, on the fly, you have to be as a wedding like, you know, it's just our
Yeah.
life, that our life is, like, this crazy, like, 8 to 12-hour day where you're just, like, you know, at all
Yeah.
times of the day, and I've never actually thought about that, how that's not actually normal for photographers maybe outside of, like, street or event photography. Outside of that, you're controlling so much more. Like, you have so much more control because you have a planned experience and a
Hmm.
planned agenda that is probably thought through and has all the correct lighting and all the correct things that you want
Yeah.
to achieve the certain images. That's actually super interesting. I've genuinely never thought about that way. Like, obviously, as wedding photographers, we can plan, but there's only so much planning you can do at the end of the day. Like,
Right.
moments
And
are gonna
like things
happen,
happen.
probably in
Yeah.
weird lighting. Like, you gotta just make it
Hmm.
work.
Yeah.
So interesting. Man, I wanna know a little bit about some of your director, like, endeavors. I know it's slightly newer, but you did have a short film come out,
Yes.
and I feel like that's probably a huge accomplishment.
Thank
Congrats.
you.
How did I just wanna know about it, like, how did that idea birth? Has that been something that's, like, even the concept of it been in the back of your mind? You wanna tell people about the short film?
Yeah. So, okay. So the short film is called Manspread, and it's basically just like a role reversal film of like if women ran the world the way men do.
Mm,
So not the way women would actually run the world, but the way it's run now. And it's just everything's reversed. And we watch this man like go through just like his everyday life in snapshots, getting on public transit, going to like a restaurant, walking down the sidewalk, and just like being so invisible to these women, and also just how how insidious the way that women, like, we make ourselves so small, we are constantly like adapting to the way men want to like do things. And so it's just like reversing it so that you can see just how big that impact is. And so it's only like a 5-minute film. We filmed it over 2 days last summer. And honestly, like that was my first time writing, directing anything. And it was so much fun. I had
mm,
a blast. I loved it. I loved getting to like bring something like that to life. The idea originally started like as a photo series. I was just going to do some photos, and I was going to like kind of just do the snapshots that way because I had done something like that in the past. And I was like, I think I could just do a part two. And then I was talking to a friend, and I was like telling her this whole idea. And she was like, you've already built this world out. Like, you should just make this a short film and see how it goes. And I was like, well, I don't do film. Like, I don't know. I've never done that. And she
mhm,
was like, you'll be fine. She was like, you've directed how many times on set for photo shoots? Like, you have all the equipment, like you have everything you need in your tool belt. You just need to do it. And I was like, okay. And so then we just did it. So yeah.
man, I would love to know a little bit on the side of logistics, only for both myself and everyone listening, but, like, even the biggest thing that I feel like holds me back in LA from doing some of the things I wanna do is genuinely just, like, knowing people to shoot with, and I know that comes with time and connecting and stuff like that, but doing something like a film, you're gonna need lots of people to make it appear like there's all these women with only one man, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
so how did that side of things go? If anyone wants, I'm like, there's probably so much to
Yeah.
that, and I could probably Google this, but were you mostly sourcing friends? Were you working with, like, talent agencies? Like, how did that side of things go?
Yeah. So for this, we really just like did friends and friends of friends. Like it
Cool.
was all people, my friend that I had like that had told me to make it a film, she had already shot like a music video before. And so there was people from that team that she recommended to me. And then we reached out, and it kind of just like there was not budget to like pay people on this film. So it was really just like whoever like
Like,
wanted to
aligned with
bring
it and
this
wanted
idea.
to,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, and so we told everyone that up front, like, this is the idea. We sent the deck around. We were like, if you like it and want to do it, like, we're trying to do it in the next like month or two. And I was honestly surprised at how many people were so enthusiastic and like wanted to help.
Mm,
And so a lot of like friends, like we had a lot of friends that PA'd. I had like one of my friends who's also a wedding photographer. She just came and shot like behind the scenes, and then also did some PA stuff. And then it was a really small crew, like really small cast, really small crew. The cast we also sourced like through a friend who is an actor, and there were people from his acting class that he recommended us like work together. And so then we did that. And yeah, like I had another friend who shot the posters that went in the subway. And then my friends were the models. So it was just like everybody kind of
that's
just
so
came together
fun.
to help. And I just have a lot of really talented friends.
That's amazing. I literally love that for you. That is probably the dream as well, to be able to say that you pulled something like that off with people that you, like, love and care about,
Yeah, it was
not
really
just
fun.
some random
Like,
strangers you, like, paid.
yeah, it was cool. It was just such a fun experience. Like being on set with people just like making something happen. There's like really no other feeling quite like that, where you're all just like doing it and
Mm.
everybody's there to just make it come to life.
I'm so excited to see what else unfolds in your future because this sounds like so fun. And watching you from afar since the Nikon camp has been such a blast, which that camp was unique in general. It was like me, T, and Preston, and we were like, what are we doing here in the mountains with these like mountain bikers? Like, what is
Yeah.
happening? So I feel like we all bonded over just, I guess, being people that take portraits. I don't know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Kind of just
That was a
having
crazy week.
a different eye for things. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a wild time. Would you say in your day-to-day these days, you're doing mostly, like, editorial kind of stuff? I saw your little matcha shoe shoot the other day, that was so cute. I don't even know if that was just for funsies because you wanted to, or if that was something for that brand, but overall, that was, like that was so fun. That was so cute and unique.
Thank you. Yeah, that one was like I already had a pair of those shoes, and I
Mm,
had this idea where I was like, "Oh, it'd be so fun to like shoot these shoes in like this way." And I had just been seeing like a lot of shoots like that I really liked, and that's just what I've been drawn to recently. And I was like, I bet if I email them, they will do a trade. And so I was like, I'll take some photos and you send me shoes. So they sent me some
yeah.
shoes. And so it wasn't like a brand deal or like official collaboration, but it was just like a couple DMs back and forth and like, here's some
If you like the
shoes,
shoes,
send
why
the
not?
photos. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so um yeah, so that was that. Recently, I mean, it really has been all over the place, and it literally depends on like what week you ask me,
Mm,
because every week is like one week it's like, oh, well, this week I have 3 weddings, and then the next week it's like, oh, well, we're shooting a pickup for like the TV show that I am working on. And so then it's like,
mm.
and it's all different workflows, and it's all over the place. So I really have like recently it's been like so hard to be like, how's work? And I'm like, it's all over the place, but like good, but also
Yeah.
very hard to like sum up because it's just like every day is a completely different thing.
You literally might not even have any sort of, tip, but maybe you do with doing multiple different, like, niches and types of work, like, keeping your life and work organized. Are you using any sort of, like, project management, anything?
I have Google Calendar
We
and
love honestly, same. Like, I didn't know if you were, like, a Notion girly or something. I'm like, I have
I
friends who are,
wish.
like, into it, and I would love to be into it, but I've looked at it and I'm like, "Oh, I just, like, can't get myself to set it up."
No, I really wish. I like my husband is a Notion guy. He loves Notion. He's like really good
Mm.
at using it. And I tried, but I don't know, it's just a lot for my brain, and
Mhm.
I just need like something much more straightforward. And I'm sure it would be straightforward once I set it up, but I just like don't have the bandwidth to
Mhm.
set it up. And also because I work on so many different types of projects, like I'd have to set up a new system for like all of
Yeah.
them. So, yeah, I don't have the best organizational like it's really Google Calendar that keeps me
No,
afloat.
honestly, same. When I tell and I feel like I tell a lot of people that literally all of my to-dos are in Google Calendar. They're like, "Summer,
Mhm.
why?" And I'm like, I don't know because every time I look into a new calendar app, I've tried like I think there's one, I don't know what it's called, but it has AI stuff and you're supposed to be able to build it out more than Google Calendar. And every time I try it, I'm just like, "I don't like this." Like, it's too much.
Yeah.
Or, like, I just want it to be in my Google Calendar, and it might not be the most realistic place for all of my to-dos to go, but literally all my deadlines, they're all in Google Calendar.
Yeah, I put my deadlines in there, and then I will if it's like a day where there's like a lot of stuff, I'll sit down and I'll like write a physical like to-do
Yep,
list,
same.
and that also works. That's kind of it. Like, yeah.
No, actually, no, my toxic trait is I text my husband every time I have something I need to do because,
Mm,
we're married, we live together, we don't actually text, let's be real.
mhm.
So we, like, barely actually text. Why would we text? We see each other all the time. My text thread to him is literally
Just your to-dos.
all of my to-dos. Oh, I think it started because I used to text him just, like, because, "Oh, I need to do this, like, can you remind me to do it?" You know what I mean? Um,
Yep, mhm,
and now it's turned into I'll literally be like, "Insurance, podcast at 9 AM," like, it is
mhm.
or email this person, and it's not for him to okay, maybe also it used to probably start because he used to do a lot of my admin tasks, so I probably used to send him text of,
Okay,
like,
yeah.
"Email this person, send this contract." I'm doing everything myself now, and I still send him the text, like, daily of, like, "Send this contract," like, "Send this email." Yeah, it's bad. I probably should stop doing that, but it's kinda comedic at this point, and it's genuinely anytime I need to
Whatever
know something I
works.
need to do, I just scroll through my text with my husband.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. It's really whatever works. I feel like as long as you're getting it done, there's not really any right way to, like, keep track. Like, as long as
Mhm.
it's working for you, it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. But yeah, I
I
do
wanna
wish I was
know
a Notion person.
Oh, same. I admire the people that are, and, like, even th they sell their little Notion templates, and I'm like, "Oh, that would be really
Mhm.
cool."
Mhm.
But I just I'm like a when I get used to something, I get used to something, it's really hard for me to, like, break my habits and try something new
Yeah.
or learn something new. So, I think I just don't feel the want to, like, learn Notion. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how I feel about so many systems. I'm like, "Well, maybe I should try something else," but I don't want to. I'm like that creature of habit, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
Man, you also you have a studio, right? Or share a studio space or have a studio
I
space?
I don't. I used to share a studio space, like, it kind of was
Mm,
set up like, we all had it was like memberships, and there was, like, maybe 5 other photographers that, like, all had a membership, but I stopped using that space. I had it for like a year, year and a half,
mm,
and then I stopped using it towards the end of last year, like in the fall or early winter. Just because I knew kind of the projects that were coming up, and it didn't make sense for me to keep paying like partial rent on a studio space when I knew a lot of the stuff I was going to be doing wasn't going to need the
mhm,
studio. So I don't anymore, but I did.
mm. Well, I was gonna ask, like, if you really loved it and if it felt like it served you well and if you still liked it, because I would love to have a space that's not inside my home, but I don't know. An office space would be fine too for me, probably.
Yeah, I do feel like it helped a lot. The area of growth that I needed in that year that I had it, like I wanted to like grow technically. I really wanted to like learn more lighting and like studio setups and that kind of thing. And so having like really easy access and like also 24-hour access, like as long as somebody else
Mm,
wasn't using it, like I could go in at night. I could just kind of like go in last minute if I had an idea I wanted to try out. Like that was really nice, and I feel like it it really helped with what I needed at that time. So I definitely think there's benefits. I do like working from home though. I like love
mm,
being at my house, but it does make it hard to do shoots. So
mm. Man, that is also probably the era of when you kinda took off online as well. Yeah? Like,
yeah,
the studios you did a lot of self-portraits, right?
yeah, I used to do more. I don't really do them as much anymore. I like started out, I mean, technically like back when I was starting like dance and editorial, I was also doing a lot of self-portrait stuff.
Mhm.
But that was also during COVID, so I was doing that out of like I didn't have anyone else to shoot with. So I just like had all these little ideas that I would like run around. That was also right before I moved to New York. And so I was just like running around and like taking these self portraits and just like getting out my creative energy that way. But I really don't do that as much anymore. I get really tired of like having like usually the remote connection doesn't work. And so then I have to like
Mhm.
go around and push the timer. And then I'm like, it's just a lot to do. So, and then it's like maybe it's out of focus or maybe it's not in the right angle. And then it's hard to get it at the right angle when you're sitting it on a tripod. So, self portraits are not something I've been doing recently.
Yeah. Well, you did have photos of yourself taken, though. I saw those. Those were
Mhm.
sick. Those were so fun.
Wait, what the most recent set?
I think I think you were wearing a
The red
tie.
tie? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did a
those look
little
so
headshot
good.
swap. I love that
That
was
was so
like I was
good.
like, "I need to update my headshots." I'm, like, really bad about that, so and those aren't really
Mm.
technically headshots, but they do the
They are
job.
for someone like you.
Exactly. They're creative
Yeah.
headshots.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm thinking more of the era of I'm thinking okay, so, like, there's a model, you had, like, lots of color at one point. I'm thinking of, like, the videos that I feel
Mhm.
like put you on my radar. That was probably when you had the studio, most likely. Were you just, like, going to the
Yes.
studio and doing lots of shoots and
Mhm.
recording them?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I just, like, had a lot of, like, ideas. I'm, like, in an
Mm,
idea slump at the moment. I feel like I just don't have that much flowing, but I'm also using,
I feel like
like,
that's just life.
yeah, I just that's just the era I'm in right now, and I'm sure I'll get back into that era at some point. But yeah, there was like that year I just had all these ideas and I was like, let's just do them. And so
Mhm.
I was filming them a lot and they were very like eye-catching, and so I feel like that's kind of that was really, yeah, when I kind of like really got into like content creation as well, as like when I just was getting all those shoots and like documenting all of them.
How do you feel about content creation? Do you still love it? Do you still want to be pursuing, like, brands and content creation outside of, because I honestly, like, content creation is, like, its own thing outside of the fact that we are also artists. Like, you are so
Mhm.
artistic, so to also be good at content creation and be prioritizing it is impressive, first of all, let me tell you, because I feel like you don't see it from the art, like, from the really artsy ones that often. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's I love content creation. I feel like it's another like layer. As you can tell, I like to do a lot of things, and it's just like one of those things
Mhm.
that I also just find really fun. And I think it's really fun to like come up with the ideas. I also feel like it pushes me when I'm working on the project. Like I think of like different things about the project that I wouldn't have thought out if I wasn't like thinking, oh, how will I capture this? How will I like make content around this? Which I'm sure also has its pitfalls, but I do really enjoy thinking about that and like kind of planning that too. But I will also say I do have someone who helps edit some of my videos. So I'm able, because I really wanted to prioritize it. So I brought someone on who, like, this is the only other person that I work with. And she does like half of my videos and I do like the other
Mhm.
half. So that's realistically like being able to do all the things that I do and then also like edit every single video. I don't think it's possible for anyone, but so I had to bring on someone because I was like, I really do want to prioritize this and like keep being able to do this. And so she helps with some of my videos and then I do the rest.
Do you have people help film some of the videos as well, or are you mostly self-filming, like BTS and things of that sort?
I do mostly self film. I get most of my BTS just tripod. And then like I'll just like grab the phone in between shots, get like other stuff. Every once in a while, like usually when you're doing stuff on set, like everyone's kind of getting BTS. And so like I'll have
Mhm.
all of my stuff like tripod wise and everything. And then like if everybody else has like other moments, like we'll all just start a like shared album and then everyone can
Mhm.
use whatever BTS everyone else gets. But usually I have a lot of my phone is full of BTS.
I love that. I need to prioritize BTS more. I think that's the one thing I've learned this year is like, man, people love behind the scenes and it's so simple. And I would honestly argue to say it's so easy. It is so easy as a
Mhm.
photographer or creative director, so easy to have behind the scenes. You are literally shooting beautiful things all the time. Like, why
Yeah.
not just post that? And
Yeah.
I
It's
was like,
also,
man,
like,
when I
so easy to
realized,
get someone to just, like, film it, like, really quick. If you're like,
yeah.
"Oh, can you get a video of me doing this?" Like, they'll do it. It's, like, super easy.
And I didn't realize that people enjoyed seeing almost like more of the process. Like, if I share just like me low key posing someone, they're like, I love that. Instead of like these perfect like 2 second like aesthetic clips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's
people love to
honestly
see the
easier.
yeah.
Like, just showing the behind the scenes, like,
Mhm.
low key easier, but I never got content of it because I never thought to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's also
Mhm.
harder. I'm on a wedding. Well, maybe not harder. I don't want to say it that way because sets are hard and there's a lot going on too. But I think on a wedding day, it's hard because I never want my couple to feel like I'm prioritizing something other than them. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So it is hard for me in the moment, even me who I post all the time. Like, it's just hard for me to ever think about taking something on my iPhone. I just can't get myself to do it. It's so
Mhm.
hard. I know some people bring assistants and stuff, but we've been trying to get better at it recently, and, Jake's been taking some of the clips, which has been good.
Mhm.
But, yeah, I just need to, like, think BTS, like, in my mind and bring an iPhone tripod. I have all these stupid contraptions, you, like, buy something on TikTok Shop or something, and then I either never take them out of the box or I never set them up or I just don't bring them.
Yeah. I will say it kinda depends on, like, the type of set or, like, the type of job, like, my, like, when I'm, like, directing, like, a personal project, like a short film that I'm doing, it's my set, so, like,
Do
I can, like,
whatever.
have people helping with BTS, I can set up tripods, like, because 'cause I'm in charge, but, like, for the show that I'm working on, like, during filming, like, it was a lot harder to get BTS because I'm it's not my set, like, I am
Mhm.
just the director of many working, and so then there's, like, all these people that have other jobs, and, like, you can't really ask anyone to take time away from their job to get BTS, but there's every once in a while, there's, like, a way you can snag it, like, when no one's like, when they're doing setup or something like that, and then with weddings, usually it's, like, just quick handheld moment, like, grab your phone out of your fanny pack, like, while you're in
Mhm.
between shots or something, or while the couple's, like, walking away, or have an assistant who is, like, has your phone and they can, like, grab some
Dedicated.
BTS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, oh, this is a question that you who knows where you are in this, but do you have, like, a content phone or do you do it on your normal phone?
I do it on my normal phone, but I have thought about having a
I've been
separate
thinking about
phone.
having a separate phone recently.
Yeah. I feel like it would just help me also separate because it's so easy
Yeah.
for me to just start working when I get on my phone.
Mhm.
Um, and so it might be nice to kind of just like have everything for work in one place and then everything for fun on my like personal phone. But that
And
also
this and
seems
the
like,
separate content phone will have all the content, so it makes it so
yeah.
much easier to scroll through because all of your, like, friends hanging out aren't in the
Hmm.
mix.
Yeah. I can't find any
And
photos ever.
I know some people that go as far as to only putting Instagram on the content phone, so they can really only, like, scroll when they're working. I'm like, "Ooh, that's some
Well,
dedication right there."
yeah, I don't know if I could do that.
I don't know if I could do that either, but I do kinda want one, and honestly, maybe I should just do it. I have an old phone. Oh, see, that's the issue, though. I have an old phone.
You
Old
gotta have the
phone
good
doesn't have good
camera.
camera. Yeah,
Mhm.
oh. I have an old phone that could I guess I could take stuff on my phone and just, like, AirDrop and delete, and that could be the way I have the content
True.
phone, but for everyone listening, my friends that have content phones, they're not, like, paying for a plan with Verizon, AT&T, whoever is your choice of cell phone provider. They just have another iPhone, and to buy an iPhone outright is really not that crazy in the world that we're in
Yeah.
the industry we're in, it's really, like I'm like, "Man, growing up, I thought, like, phones were so expensive, like, how I was
Same.
raised, and
Yeah.
and it was, like, such a big deal to get a phone, and I wasn't, like, raised in wealth, so, yeah, it was a big deal to have a nice phone,
Mhm.
and now I'm like, "Wow," like, compared to a camera, an iPhone is low key a steal, so yeah, I'm kinda like, yeah, you just buy one outright, you don't have to, like, finance it with Verizon or whatever, and just
Mhm.
use it without cell service. And so every time they're needing to use their work phone, they're normally always at a coffee shop, on a plane, at home, they're somewhere that has
Mm.
Wi-Fi, so they don't need cell service.
That's
And I was like,
yeah,
"It's
that's
kinda
so smart.
genius."
I had kind of forgotten that I was thinking about that a while back, and now that you've brought it up, I'm like, "Oh, maybe I will look into that." Because yeah, it would just be nice to have all of my, like, personal photos, like, things that aren't for
For
work
work.
on my phone and then have like yeah the like 15-minute long tripod videos that I set up like
Mhm.
of me doing something like they take up so much space and then they're literally like just me setting up a backdrop for 15 minutes so yeah it'd be
Yes.
nice to have that somewhere else.
Yeah, I even for me, it's downloading, like, the sneak peeks. I'm like, "Oh, I could go pick the exact photos I wanna
Mhm.
post, or I could airdrop myself, like, 100 of like, all of the photos,
Yep.
like, 100 photos, and then I can just make the post from there." So, yeah, my phone is
Yeah.
just full of so many
Yeah.
other
Whole
people's
wedding
wedding
galleries
photos.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's a wreck. Someone every time I meet someone and they hear I have a kid, they're like, "I wanna see photos," and I'm like, "Here, let me just, like, scroll through all these wedding photos really fast."
Yeah. You're like, "It'll only take me 30
Oh.
minutes to find it. Don't worry."
Pro tip, everyone listening, go buy a content phone if you want to get into posting online. It honestly sounds like a dream
Yeah, it
that
does.
me and T both need to fulfill, I guess.
But also, if you don't
Man,
have one, it can
you're
be
fine.
done. You're
Yeah,
fine. You don't need
we're
one.
case studies, you're
Yeah.
fine. Oh, man. This has been such a blast. I wanna know on the side of creative direction and just maybe whether it's styling, whether it's, like, coming up with a vision, whether it's mood boarding. I wanna know when you were first starting in that world and maybe it was scary. If someone listening wants to kinda get into maybe just editorial space or even directing in some sense, what is something you wish you knew back then? Like,
Ooh.
that you felt like no one was really talking about or it could even be simple, like, you just didn't know and you wish someone had told you.
I mean, I didn't know that, like, once you get to a certain level of working in, like, editorial space, like, you have someone for, like, everything on set. Like, yes, it's good. You should learn how to do lighting, but if you're working on like big professional sets, that's not your job. Like someone else is going to
Mhm.
light for you. And then even down to like having like a digitech, like yes, you should learn those things, but there's also people where that's like their whole job is to like make sure everything's tethered correctly, everything's up and running, everything's like
Mm.
visible for the client to see. Like you should know how to do that because you're going to need to do it when you're doing like smaller stuff. And there's not budget for a full crew like that. But once you get to a certain level, like there are people that that is their job and you don't need to be 100% proficient in every single job on set. Like
Mhm.
I that's what I thought, and so I was like so stressed all the time because I was like there's no way I'm going to be able to learn all of these skills and like be able to do all the set design, all the lighting, all the like everything. Like I thought I needed to know how to I assumed that was all part of being a photographer, and yes, it is, but also there are people that you can hire to do that and like bring all of those things to life on a much larger scale. And so being like the best at all of those is like not only unrealistic, but also not necessary. Like just
Mhm.
having a decent understanding of those things will get you a long way. And so I wish I had known that when I was like first starting because I was stressing myself out.
Mm. Honestly, I feel that in the wedding industry as well. You
Mm.
see these luxury photographers shooting these multi-million dollar weddings and the lighting is so sick and there's like the dance floor is crazy and there's like lights streaming in with fog. It just looks so good. You know, the dance floors are insane.
Yeah.
And I thought I was like, "Man, that photographer is so good at lighting." And I know that might sound like a joke to some people listening to this, but when you're first starting photography, you do think that probably the photo or video team is the one in charge of, like, making sure the light is looking good. I don't know, that's what I thought. And
Mhm.
then I found out that people low key have, like yeah, I had a friend who the lighting team alone was, like, 30
Lighting
grand,
designers. Yeah.
and they came in to just do the lighting, and I was like, "Wow, that's so cool." You have to be proficient enough in lighting that you can make it past the, like, lower mid-luxury tier,
Mhm.
and then you don't really have to worry about it again, which
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
crazy,
And then you have all
literally
that knowledge in
crazy
the back of your head for
that you don't even
if
need
someone ever
anymore.
has a question. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like, I face that hard in between where I get yeah, that the clientele kind of in between where maybe the venue, like, is not honestly not that great without these certain vendors like lighting techs and,
Mhm.
like, certain things where I'll be like, "Hey, you guys should hire this, like, here's a recommendation for someone I know that could do lighting or whatever." But then, yeah, the budget's not there. I'm like, "I guess, like, pay me some extra and I can see what I can do," but that is not something I really wanna do on a wedding day, like,
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
wanna
that's
go
also so
rent.
much to think about. Like,
It's
you
so
already have so many things
much.
to think about. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna take away from what you actually are there to do if
Yeah.
you're thinking about 10 other jobs. So,
I know. I don't know how videographers do it because a lot of them in that mid tier, they do it.
mhm.
They'll set up 3 or
Yeah,
4
the
lights,
lighting.
like, they'll set up constant lights, like, they'll do what it takes to get the good videos, and I'm like, "That is just" I don't know. I hope you're charging a premium for that, which most likely they're not. But I didn't know things like that existed in the wedding space either in the beginning of my career. Like,
Mhm.
I just thought, man, that photographer owns a lot of stuff. And how do they have that much time? I was like, their team must be huge. I mean, their teams are huge, anyways, even without the
Right.
lighting. But yeah,
Yeah.
freaking crazy. I'm trying to think about other things that I thought people might do that they don't. Um, hmm. I mean, people just have more assistance than you think they do,
Yeah, there's just a
oftentimes.
lot more behind the scenes hands on deck than
Mhm.
like which like if you read the credits like in a shoot, like you'll see the team is like a mile long and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay." Like got it. And so like it's just good to know that like if you're like, "Why don't my photos look like that?" It's cuz your team is this long. Like you only have like 3 people helping you and there's
Yeah.
40 on that Vogue shoot. So like, yeah.
Yeah. I would love to do a shoot that large. That'd be really fun.
Mhm.
Have you done shoots now
No.
where the teams are, like, massive?
No, the big teams I work with are in the film space. I really haven't,
Mm,
like, had any huge, like, photo shoots like that. I think
mm,
the largest team I've had on a photo shoot was maybe, like, 10 or 11.
mm.
And then, yeah, the biggest crews I've worked with are when I've been doing film stuff.
Yeah. I did a free editorial shoot once just for some creative director friends of me. Like, I guess you would call it a test shoot, but I feel like it wasn't. It had an agenda and, like, there was a magazine created around it, but it
Mm,
was just we were all going into this because we all really liked the idea and the story. So, anyways, kinda like a test shoot for everyone listening. Or, man, how would you just like a I guess kinda like a styled shoot if you're just a wedding photographer, you've never heard the term test shoot. Um that team, there was 2 lighting people, 2 creative directors, a stylist, a makeup artist, and me, was not
mhm,
huge, but still was so much fun. It was weird
mhm,
as a photographer because I didn't have a ton of experience in that side of the industry. I was like, "Wow, as a wedding photographer, I am everything. I am a creative
mhm.
director,
Yeah.
I am posing, I
Yes.
am honestly styling most of the time, like, literally
Mhm.
everything." And on that set, I was like, "Dude, I could be a tripod." Like, with
Yes.
creative
Yeah.
directors and I was tethering, like, to a
Mhm,
screen, so
mhm.
with creative directors there who had a specific vision, they had a script, like, they knew what they wanted. I loved being able to achieve that for them, but I also in my mind, I was like, "Well, I could probably pass you my camera, and, like, you don't need
Yeah.
me," was how it felt for, like, some of it, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
obviously, I inserted myself in some areas, and we got some cool stuff, but it was crazy that as a wedding photographer, you feel like so much more than a photographer, but when you are, like, put in your lane of, like, you are pulled into this project to be the photographer, I was like, "Wow, I really am just a photographer, and this is kinda cool. I would do this
Yeah.
again." Like, I am not super stressed, and being able to, like, fulfill other people's visions was low key kinda cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also not common knowledge to, like, a lot of smaller businesses, people that are trying to, like, do smaller scale shoots for their, like, companies and things like that.
Mm,
It's not common knowledge that, like, photographers and creative directors play different roles. I think a lot of
yeah.
times they'll hire a photographer to be the creative director without knowing that that's what they're like asking for. And so then
Yeah.
you kind of like run into this issue where like they don't really know what they want and then they expect you to kind of decide for them as the photographer, which can be a little tricky when there's like not that clear line. So then when there is a creative director, like it really does take a lot of that the workload off of the
Wait.
photographer because a lot of times you end up being the creative director anyway.
Yeah, and it would be hard to explain that to a brand who doesn't
Mhm.
understand the concept of creative directors. Or at least it would seem that way in, like, just thinking about it, because if they didn't hire one from the get-go, how do you tell them now you don't really wanna do the job that they think they're hiring you for? You know, they're
Yeah.
gonna assume that, like, you're meant to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, I think in an alternate world with more time, I would enjoy creative directing in some sense. I think I would really enjoy it. I think I just did
Mhm.
not directing films, no, but, maybe, like, brand shoots. I don't think I don't think I'm even I would thoroughly be fine admitting that I don't know if I'm creative enough to direct a film. That's how I feel.
I don't
But,
believe that. I think you could. I feel like you
uh,
could. You're
we have
you are
so many,
such a
like,
good, like,
film friends here.
storyteller.
We have so many film friends here, and it feels like things you go to school for, or at least they went to school for, and, like, you have all this
School's
knowledge
overrated.
and that's true, you're doing it, and you didn't go to school
Yeah.
for it,
I went
so
to
that's
school for
fun.
dance, so you can do it. Like, I think that's the thing is, like, being a director, like and take this with a grain of salt, I'm very new, but I do think, like, if you are good at getting a message across and you are good at telling
Mm,
stories and you've done so behind a camera in like any aspect, I think you can direct. Like I think it's a huge learning curve and there's like a ton to like unpack and like you're going to have a lot of learning to do, but I think you can do it cuz
mm,
that's what being a director is. And if you can direct clients who have no acting or modeling experience and you can still get them to like convey a certain emotion or do a certain thing, you can direct actors who are trained to do that. Like
mm.
it's a different language, but you're kind of already speaking it. Like I think there's a way. So I think you could. But
That's a good perspective, even for everyone listening, like, if you wanna branch out and try new things, I loved hearing you say, like, if you can direct a client, like, you could direct an actor, like, that's what they're there for. That is
yeah.
so fun. You need to come do a show, like, show something you're doing in LA. You'll be in LA at some point if you're
Eventually,
directing.
probably.
Come see
We'll
me.
see. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Or next time I'm in New York. I was in New York, and I don't know what happened. We did not end up getting to see each
I
other,
know. It
but
was a hectic time.
it was wild for me too, but I'm sure we'll be back. That's what I love about my friends that either like that's what one thing I love about living in New York, and you probably feel that about living in not me living in New York. I live in LA. One thing I love about living in LA is that people just come through, like
Mhm.
artists.
Yep.
My friends, everyone has a shoot in LA at some point, or a wedding, or a networking event, and you probably feel that way about New York. Like people just end up in New York, and you get to
Mhm.
like meet up with people.
Yeah, and
So
it's always,
fun.
like, fun, creative people, so, yeah. Being at, like, a hub like, I always say I couldn't imagine living anywhere else, like, it's New York or nowhere for me because it's just, like, this is where everything happens that I wanna be doing, and so
Mm.
I love the city, I think it's great. So, I'll come visit LA, though.
Okay, come visit me, come visit me. I when I think of New York, I think of a toxic relationship. It's like the highest of highs for me and the lowest of lows. I can't get over it. It's too much. I would love to love it. I enjoyed it more last time I went, but genuinely every other time it's been a toxic relationship.
That's
Love the city,
understandable.
but it's also like horrible at the same time. Like for me, like it's
Yeah.
too much.
No,
It's so
totally.
stressful.
Yeah. I think
Oh.
that's the thing too is, like, when you're visiting New York, like, I don't actually like doing things with my friends when
Mm,
they come to visit because they always wanna do the most hectic things to me. Like, to me, going into, Midtown West on a Friday evening to go see, like, a show or, like, the billboards in Times Square, I'm like, "I'd rather die." Like, that is
yeah.
so unpleasant, and then, like, going into Soho on a Saturday, miss me with that. Like, there's so many things that I'm just like, you only do that because 'cause you're visiting, and then when you live here, it is much calmer. Like, obviously, there are,
Mm,
like, days where you're like, your train is 15 minutes late, it rains, and you don't have an umbrella. Like, there's those days, but, like, you're not living in that, like, extreme noise and, like, the, like, crazy part of New York. Like,
mm.
that's for visitors. Like,
So do you own a
so
car?
I do. I have a car.
Oh.
We live in a very quiet we just moved to a very quiet neighborhood. We used to live in, like, a slightly noisier neighborhood, but we loved it. Like, it wasn't, like, a super, like, busy it was still all, not tourists and everything, so, yeah, I love it.
That's so fun. I love it for you. I want you real quick to tell everyone where they can find you in case they're audio only and they're driving and they can't just like click over right now. I want them to remember where to find you because your work is so cool. Can you tell everyone like where to find you and maybe something exciting on the horizon for you coming up?
Okay, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at by Tiana Michele. That's my like main page and like editorial, creative, all that stuff. If you want to see my wedding stuff, it's weddings by Tiana Michele on Instagram, and I think it's just Tiana Michelle Photo on TikTok because I have
Hmm.
separate accounts for both of them on both pages. But and then coming up, I'm just starting pre-production for another short film that will
Ooh,
hopefully be filming later this fall. And yeah, there will probably be lots of content about it because it's one that I'm doing and funding myself. So it'll be all the content, all the behind the scenes. You'll be seeing a lot of it. So keep an eye
that's
out for
so fun.
that.
I'm so excited to follow along. And if I'm in New York, I'll just have to like somehow come in for whenever it gets released.
Yes.
Watch me make it for your watch party. I'm kidding. But me
No,
and my
I
daughter.
mean, maybe we'll do it. I mean, I would like to my dream for this short is to have like a gallery to go with it and then like have it
Mm,
showing at the gallery. Don't quote me on that. That might not happen, but that would be
that'd be
the
so
ideal
cool.
situation. So,
You should do
yeah.
it. Man, well, you guys, real quick, if you love this episode, it would mean the world to me and to T that you go find her, you follow the podcast, whatever you're listening on, if there is a follow button. I know there is one on Spotify, or you leave a review. That would be absolutely great to get more awesome people like Tiana on the podcast, or share this with a friend if you think they should know something about creative direction, content creation, or just anything in between that we ended up chatting about. I would love for you to do that. So go ahead, do that real quick, and I will catch you guys very soon. Bye.
Bye.